Hello dear friends. Welcome back to the channel. If you have been learning English for months, maybe even years, and still feel stuck when it is time to speak, today's video might completely change the way you see your journey. You do not have bad English. You have a bad habit. And that habit is silently stopping your fluency. Most people think they are weak in English because they do not know enough vocabulary. Some think their grammar is not strong. Others blame confidence. But what if I tell you that none of these are the real problem? You understand English. You watch English videos. You read captions. You even think in English sometimes. But when someone says, "Say something in English," your mind goes blank. Why? Because the problem is not knowledge. The problem is what you are training your brain to do every day. And today, I am going to show you the one habit that is secretly keeping you stuck. The illusion of learning. Let me say something that might surprise you. You are not bad at English. In fact, you probably know much more than you think. You understand movies without subtitles sometimes. You understand Instagram Reels. You understand YouTube videos. When someone speaks slowly, you catch almost everything. So clearly, knowledge is not the real problem. Then why does your mind freeze when it is your turn to speak? The answer is simple but uncomfortable. You have trained your brain to consume English, not to produce it. And there is a huge difference between the two. Every day, you watch English videos. You listen to podcasts. You read captions. You scroll through motivational reels about fluency. You save posts that say, "Speak like a native." While doing all this, you feel productive. You feel like you are learning. Your brain gives you a small reward feeling, as if you are moving forward. But the truth is, you are only strengthening one side of the skill. Understanding is passive. Speaking is active. And active skills are built only through repetition under slight discomfort. Think about this carefully. When you watch a video, there is no pressure. No one is waiting for your answer. No one is judging your sentence structure. No one is reacting to your pronunciation. You are safe. Completely safe. Your brain loves safety. It loves routines that do not threaten your ego. So, it keeps choosing watching over speaking. And slowly, a dangerous illusion is created. You start believing that because you understand English, you can speak it. But understanding creates familiarity, not fluency. Familiarity makes you feel ready. Fluency comes only when your mouth has practiced forming thoughts again and again. Imagine someone who watches hundreds of gym videos. They know all the exercises. They know about protein, sets, reps, muscle groups. They can explain fitness perfectly. But they never actually lift weights. Will their body change? No. Because knowledge does not build muscle. Repetition builds muscle. Speaking English is the same. It is a verbal muscle. If you do not use it daily, it stays weak. And when you suddenly try to use it in front of someone, it shakes. This is why so many learners say the same sentence. "I understand everything, but I cannot speak." That sentence itself is proof of the habit problem. You have mastered input, but you have neglected output. Your brain becomes fast at recognizing English, but it becomes slow at creating English. And when real life demands speed, your brain searches for words, checks grammar, translates from your native language, edits the sentence, doubts pronunciation, and then silence. Not because you are stupid. Not because you lack vocabulary. But because you never train the speaking reflex. Fluency is not about knowing more. It is about responding faster. And speed comes only when your brain is used to expressing thoughts without overthinking. Right now, your daily routine probably looks like this. Watch. Listen. Scroll. Repeat inside your head. Maybe write some notes. But how many minutes do you actually speak out loud every day? Not in your mind. Not silently. Out loud. If that number is close to 0, then that is the real reason you feel stuck. And this is the illusion most learners live in for years. They keep collecting knowledge, thinking one more video will fix them. One more vocabulary list. One more grammar rule. One more motivational reel. But fluency is not built by collecting. It is built by expressing. And until that habit changes, nothing else will. The habit that actually builds fluency. Now let me tell you something that should make you feel relieved. There is nothing wrong with your intelligence. Nothing wrong with your memory. Nothing wrong with your potential. The only thing missing is one simple daily habit. And once you understand this, you will stop blaming yourself. Right now, your brain does not see English as something natural. It sees it as something formal, something serious, something that requires preparation. That is why you feel pressure the moment someone says, "Speak in English." Your heart beats a little faster. Your mind starts scanning for grammar rules. You begin translating from your native language. And suddenly, the sentence that was clear in your head disappears. But ask yourself something honestly. How many minutes do you actually speak English out loud every day? Not in your thoughts. Not while watching a video. Not silently repeating after someone. I mean real speaking. Where you form your own sentences. Where your brain has to build thoughts on its own. For most learners, the answer is almost 0. And that is the real issue. You expect fluency from a skill you barely practice. Imagine trying to play a musical instrument without touching it for days, and then feeling disappointed when your fingers move slowly. It would not make sense. Yet this is exactly what happens with English. You keep feeding your brain input, but you rarely force it to produce output. Here is the shift that changes everything. Fluency is not built by understanding more. It is built by responding faster. And speed only comes from repetition. That is why you need what I call the 5 minutes output rule. Every single day, you speak in English for 5 minutes. Out loud. Alone if necessary. No audience required. No pressure. No perfection. You talk about your day. You explain what you are planning tomorrow. You describe a problem you are facing. You imagine you are teaching someone. You tell a story. It does not matter if your grammar is messy. It does not matter if you repeat words. What matters is that your brain is forced to create without translating every second. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your sentences will break. You will pause. You will search for words. And that is normal. That discomfort is not failure. That discomfort is training. Slowly, something powerful begins to happen. Your brain stops panicking when it needs to form a sentence. It stops overchecking grammar. It stops treating English like an exam. It starts treating it like a normal tool. And when something becomes normal, fear disappears. Think about how you speak in your native language. You do not think about tenses. You do not calculate sentence structure. You just speak. That speed did not come from studying grammar for years. It came from daily usage since childhood. English works the same way. If you give your brain daily speaking exposure, even for 5 minutes, it will adapt. It will become faster. It will become smoother. And one day, you will notice something surprising. You will answer without freezing. You will respond without translating first. And that is the moment you realize something important. Confidence was never the starting point. Practice was. You were not stuck because you were incapable. You were stuck because you were only preparing, never performing. And once performance becomes a daily habit, fluency stops feeling impossible. How your brain actually works. Let us understand something important about your brain. When someone suddenly asks you to speak in English, your brain does not just think about words. It activates something called threat detection. It asks, what if I make a mistake? What if they laugh? What if I look stupid? And the moment that fear enters, your thinking speed drops. This is why you can form beautiful sentences when you are alone. But the moment someone looks at you and waits for your answer, everything feels blank. It is not lack of knowledge. It is performance pressure mixed with low repetition. Your brain is fast in your native language because it has repeated that process thousands of times without fear. It does not analyze each word. It does not check grammar. It trusts itself. But in English, your brain does not trust itself yet. Why? Because you have not given it enough real speaking experience. Right now, whenever you try to speak, your brain follows this slow path. First, you think in your native language. Then you translate. Then you check grammar. Then you adjust vocabulary. Then you worry about pronunciation. And by the time you are ready, the conversation has already moved on. That is exhausting. And because it feels exhausting, you avoid speaking again. Which means you never build speed. Which means next time it feels even harder. This becomes a silent cycle. But here is the shift that changes everything. Fluency is not about perfect English. It is about reduced mental delay. The goal is not to remove mistakes first. The goal is to remove hesitation first. When you start using the 5-minute output rule daily, something powerful happens inside your brain. The translation step slowly weakens. The grammar checking habit becomes lighter. Your brain starts forming simple sentences directly in English because it gets used to doing so. At first, your sentences will be basic. That is good. Simple sentences are fast sentences. And fast sentences build momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence reduces fear. Reduced fear increases speed. And speed is fluency. This is why some people with average vocabulary speak confidently, while others with huge vocabulary still hesitate. The difference is not knowledge. The difference is training under action. The brain respects repetition more than intention. You can intend to become fluent for years. But your brain only changes when your behavior changes daily. And the most beautiful part is this. You do not need 1 hour. You do not need a partner. You do not need perfect grammar. You need consistency. 5 minutes every day for 30 days is more powerful than 5 hours once a week. Because fluency is a neural habit, not a motivational decision. One day, someone will ask you something in English and you will answer without preparing inside your head. You will not even realize it happened. That is when you will understand. You did not gain English. You trained your brain. And once your brain is trained, speaking stops feeling like a test. It starts feeling natural. So, stop telling yourself that you are bad at English. Stop saying you do not have talent. Stop blaming your school. Stop blaming your background. You were never incapable. You were just practicing the wrong way. You were collecting knowledge when you should have been building reflex. You were preparing to speak instead of actually speaking. And now you know the difference. Fluency is not about knowing more. It is about hesitating less. And hesitation disappears when speaking becomes normal. 5 minutes a day. No perfection. No overthinking. Just expression. If you follow this for the next 30 days, your brain will change. Not magically. Not overnight. But steadily. And one day you will respond in English without fear, and you will not even realize when it happened. That is the moment you stop being a learner and start becoming a speaker. If this video opened your eyes even a little, then do not just watch and leave. Hit the like button so more learners can discover this message. Subscribe to the channel if you are serious about transforming your English, not just consuming content. Press the bell icon so you do not miss the next video, because consistency is not just for learning, it is for growth. Share this video with that friend who always says, "I understand everything but I cannot speak." And most importantly, comment, output, if you are starting the 5-minute rule from today. Let this not be another video you watched. Let this be the day your habit changed. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.